Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, right here in the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And welcome to round two of. Apologize about that. And welcome to round two of the next level gaming community ARCA series, right here on iRacing, which is and the iRacing network, which is powered by iRacing. Had that a little bit backwards there. I apologize about that. However, we are in for an amazing show, ladies and gentlemen. We have 125 laps for you guys today as we take a look here at Scott Milner in that beautiful number 6 machine. Scott Milner out of Pittsburgh, Indiana. He will call it. Alrighty, and we have Owen Christensen. He is out here in the Tide number 65 Chevy machine. He is attempting out here in his first time lap. I'm sorry, this is his out lap. Now he will be getting. Alrighty, let's see here. Christensen, he put down a 29.61 for his first lap. Let's see if he can go ahead and get it a much better here. As he works his way here through turns 3 and 4. And down to the start finish line. He will move up with a 29.48 on his qualifying attempt. That was a really good shot there for him. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. That looks like that will be it out of our 11 competitors here for today. We're just waiting here to see if anybody else will make a qualifying attempt. Alrighty, it looks like we have one competitor coming back out on track. And that will be Joe Usnickus out of DuBois, Pennsylvania. And he's coming down the back straightaway to for the first time for his qualifying attempt here. Alrighty, and that currently puts him with the 29.59. It seems like the first lap is not that very fast, but then when they come around for their second lap as he exits turn number 4 down to the start finish line, he'll better his time up to third with a 29.46. That was a pretty good run there for Joe. Kyle Davidson. He is coming around the back straightaway right now for the final time, and he'll look. And he will be looking here. And that will put him Davidson with a 29.54. That will put him last currently on the board. And so now we are just waiting for Freddie Donaway and Matthew Powers to make their qualifying attempts if they are going to do so. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So now that thing wants to show up. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Let me go ahead and take care of that logo real quick. I don't know why it started to show up all of a sudden. That's not a problem. We can quickly fix that. We can just come here. And I would like to, again, I want to throw out a really big thank you to SDK Gaming for these amazing, awesome overlays for these broadcasts. They make them look absolutely beautiful. And every day I'm learning a lot more. Like, it just takes a couple clicks, then I can go boom, and there's the new logo showing right there on the stream for you guys. I love how fast I could fix it. Absolutely amazing. And we are now getting ready to switch over to the race for this high stakes 125 right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we are now getting our cars lined up down on the front straightaway. Let's go ahead and take a look now here at our starting lineup for today's event. Starting on the pole is going to be Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine, with Scott Milner to his outside in the number 6 machine. Joe Yasnikis in the number 89. Will Byers in the number 53 will join him on the outside of row number 2. Row number 3, you see Owen Christensen in that number 65 machine with Trevor Kelly in the 36. Row number 4, you see Kason Hutto or Huto. I'll have to get with you to figure out how to correctly pronounce that name, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be Hutto for now. And if it's a wrong case, then I will get with you. Richard Walls will join him on the outside of row number 4 in the number 92 machine. Kyle Davidson is it going to be in the number 7. Freddie Donaway in the number 27 machine. And rounding out your field will be Matthew Powers. And before we get rolling, let's go ahead and take a look and see if he is down here. Hey guys, hey guys, is Kaysen in here?
Yeah.
Mr. Kaysen, how do you pronounce your last name?
Hutto. H-U, Hutto.
Hutto?
Hutto, yes.
Hutto, I knew it. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, it is Hutto. As they are now coming down the back straightaway here. And we are going to get this thing going. Ladies and gentlemen, pull those belts tight. We are going to have a lot of fun here. Fred, our awesome pace car driver, he will bring the field down onto pit road. And we are going to get this event underway. Ladies and gentlemen, round number 2 of the Next Level Gaming Community ARCA series is going racing here on the iCast Racing Network, and we are green flag for the high stakes 125. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Dustin Harding gets a decent run out of the starting line, and he will clear the outside of Scott Milner in that number 6 machine. But here comes Joe Usnikas in that number 89, already trying to make a run on the inside, as they are still running side by side behind them. And we have a battle for the lead coming out of turn number 4 here on lap number 1. 4 wide, as we have somebody with radio communication issues, but he got it. We'll have to get it sorted out as they now look to go 3 wide down into turn number 1. Good racing at this moment. Scott Milner in that number 6 machine. He's looking to regain that second spot. We have one car bounce off the wall. That looks like that was the number 53 of Will Byers on the outside. And here they come through turns 3 and 4 once again, ladies and gentlemen. Really good racing that you can see right here, as they are not leaving this pack alone. I feel like we're right back here at Daytona International Speedway. These cars are using the draft correctly, and they are still racing side by side. And here comes Will Byers in that number 53 Spotify Ford Taurus machine. I think it's a Ford Taurus. I forgot what they were using in the ARCA series, but here they come. Here comes Scott Milner taking over that lead spot as they come out of turn number 2. Very strong so far here for Scott Milner in that number 6 machine. He got beat out a little bit there by Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine, and he's fallen back over to 4th, but Scott Milner is now taking over that top spot as we dump back here to and we have the 36 of Trevor Kelly around into the wall, and that'll bring out, oh my gosh, hard impact by Freddie Donaway in that number 27 machine. That was very unfortunate there for Freddie Donaway, as he just slammed into the back end of Trevor Kelly in that 36 machine, as we see Trevor Kelly now crab walking that machine down the back straightaway. That's perfectly fine there, Trevor. You can keep racing like that, but you don't need to come in to get repairs done. No, I'm kidding, buddy. You might want to come in and get repairs. Now, let me tell you what. Never have I ever seen somebody be able to crab walk that bad and be able to keep it going as he will continue to circle around here. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened here. Let's go ahead and come back here to a one lap ago. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's come back up here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the 31 just got a tad loose, and that put the 36 into the outside wall. And here comes the 27 of Freddie Donaway with nowhere to go. That's very unfortunate there for these two gentlemen. Really hard impact as Trevor Kelly finally makes his way back into the pits to get repairs done on that machine. A lot of pack action racing so far early on in this machine, or in this race, as Trevor Kelly will go ahead and come on out of the pits and take care of that damage. These drivers, they do have I believe one fast repair, so you can use your fast repair, but you want to use it wisely. But unfortunately in this case, for Trevor Kelly, he had to go ahead and use it, and I think Freddie Donaway, he'll have to use it as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you see the field getting ready to come out of turn number 4. And they will go ahead and run single file into the restart zone. And we are racing here once again at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And here they come down into turn number 1, and Will Byers in that number 53 Spotify machine, he is going to take over the race lead coming out of turn number 2, but Richard Waltz, he is fighting hard back on that outside. You can use any part of this track to get around this massive 1.5 mile speedway, as Will Byers gets a little bit loose going down onto the apron. He's got to be careful because he doesn't want to hit the apron just wrong and spin that machine out, and especially being out front, he can damage a lot of cars out front, so he's got to be very extra careful on that as they now drive down the back straightaway here and back up into turn number 3 and 4. Will Byers shooting down the back straightaway. Richard Walls now back onto his inside, looking to retake that race lead. And here comes Scott Milner to put his nose into the mix for the race lead. All these cars are still practically in this to win it. Now it's just going to be a matter of time. We still have a very long way to go. 125 laps around this beautiful racetrack. It's going to be all about tire management here at Las Vegas, as we have a battle for second here between Scott Milner and Richard Walls in the number 92 and the number 6 respectively. And it looks like Scott Milner, he will pull in front of Richard Walls there for that second spot. Walls got just a tad bit sideways there out of turn number 4 that time. And here they come back down into turn number 1. Last week, we only had 7 competitors come out on track. And let me tell you what, as we have Scott Milner get into the wall out of turn number 2, and Richard Walls, he will take over that second spot. And here comes Dustin Harding in that number 81 to take over that third spot from Scott Milner. But Scott Milner holding him tight on the outside there. These drivers here, ladies and gentlemen, have been absolutely phenomenal so far this season with only 1 race in the books. 7 drivers came out last week. I'm sorry, a couple weeks ago for Daytona, and there's only 7 drivers. But let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't gotten to see Daytona, go back and take a look and watch that race. All around, even though it was only 7 drivers, it was a very awesome race to watch, as we see Owen Christensen back there in that tied Menard's machine. He is looking like he's having radio communications issues, and he is hollering to his crew chief to let him know about the radio issues. Hopefully they can get that sorted out as this race goes on. Dustin Harding looking strong now in that number 81 machine, working the outside of Richard Walls, and he looks like he will overtake for that second spot. And he is now slowly climbing back towards the front of this field as they're now running through turns 3 and 4. Absolutely amazing racing so far here, ladies and gentlemen. No one necessarily giving up an inch, but they are racing very respectfully as they now drive through turns 1 and 2 and out of turn 2. Single file as they drive. Freddie Dunaway, he looks like he is back out on track in that number 27 machine. Matthew Powers in the number 9 machine. I am showing he has not made any laps yet, so he may be having some mechanical issues as they're starting to go around the 89 machine of Joe Usnikis. And everybody will get around that machine perfectly fine. Let's come back here and take a look at that number 92 of Richard Walls. He's getting a lot of pressure put on him by the 65 of Owen Christensen in that beautiful Menards tied Chevrolet. And here comes Kason Hutto looking onto the inside of Christensen to take over. Oh, we had that blink from Owens there for just a moment. Still having some radio issues, but that's not interfering just yet of how these race cars are getting around this racetrack. So I'm sure he's still screaming at his crew to try to get it fixed. They may need to come down pit road on the next caution and change out their radios. or when they come in for their next pit stop. Here comes these drivers marching around. Hard contact into the outside wall there by a couple of the drivers that time. Coming out of a turn 2. And that will jumble them up just a little bit here as they start running double wide again. Will Byers still leading this race out front with Dustin Harding still right on his back bumper as he's trying to look to the inside, but Byers just has that strong run onto the outside. And here he comes here once again, actually getting side by side with him. Dustin Harding getting a run on that inside. Will Byers will lead this lap. And Harding is not giving up on that inside as he's starting to get just about a half car length in front. Now he has possibly cleared, but here comes Byers back to the outside. So much momentum you can hold coming out of these corners on the outside. So you don't lose a lot of time really running that outside because you just make it all up out of the exit of these corners. Still running side by side for that top spot. Will Byers, Dustin Harding duking it out for the lead, and everybody else behind them, especially Owen Christensen, who's now worked his way up to third, is absolutely loving this because the more they run side by side, the more he can start to gain on the two in front of him. And let's see what happens here as they now get themselves single file. Will Byers is now looking to the outside here once again down into turn number 1. And here they come out of turn number 2. Will Byers has to lift as Christensen hits the outside wall. I'm sorry, that was Scott Milner who hit the wall in that fourth car in line. These drivers need to be careful and not hit that wall too terribly hard, because they don't want to cause damage to their race cars and have to come in down for an on-scheduled pit stop for car repair, as Will Byers is trying to make a run at once again here on Harding, but he's unable to get it done out of turn number 2. And now Owen Christensen in that number 65 machine. Oh, and big time loose there for Harding out of turn number 4. That's going to allow Byers and Christensen to get around him, and he will settle down now back in that third spot. That was a very big, massive wiggle for him. Let's go back and try to take a look, and let's see that big, massive wiggle out of him. Out of turn number 2. I'm sorry, out of turn number 4 that time. Actually, we're going to ride on board with him so that you don't miss this. So we're going to sit here and ride on board. See that big wiggle out of turn number 4, and that just was enough momentum to be had to let him drop all the way back to that third position. And Will Byers is now starting to get sideways out of turn number 4. We are only 29 laps into this event, and drivers are already starting to get loose out of turn number 4. This is absolutely massive for these drivers, as we don't want to see too many cars getting absolutely sideways and loose, because we want as many cars to finish this event as possible. While these guys are duking it out right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway next week, the Next Level Gaming Community ARCA Series will head to the Paperclip Showdown 150 at Martinsville Speedway. This event is going to be absolutely amazing. That's definitely one race you do not want to miss, ladies and gentlemen. But first, we have to see here who is going to gamble the most. As we continue to see here, Owen Christensen, he has made his way around Will Byers for that top spot, so he will now march around here. As Will Byers is making his attempt to get by him, as Owen Christensen gets sideways going through turns 1 and 2. These cars, they just keep getting looser and looser as this race is going on. Just look at him having to manhandle that car, and Byers once again gets loosened. That allows a run from Christensen out of turn number 4. But right there with him is Dustin Harding in that number 81. He wants a piece of this action here as they go through turns 1 and 2. All right, now it looks like things will now settle down here for just a moment, as it sounds like one of these guys are going to start to come down pit road, and it looks like Scott Milner and Dustin Harding will both come down pit road. It looks like Harding had some issues getting down here onto pit road, but our first two's come down pit road now. Our first two drivers have now made their way down pit road. Now the question is, how long will the next person wait before they come down pit road? And it looks like Freddie Donaway is now heading down pit road himself to get some fresh tires on his machine.
Everyone hitting.
What? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize about that. as we see Kason Hutto coming down in his JBL number 31 Toyota to get service on his machine. We are still waiting for 4 drivers to come down pit road, and that's going to be the 65 of Owen Christensen, the number 53 of Will Byers, Trevor Kelly in the number 36, and Kyle Davidson in the 7. We're still waiting for them to come on down pit road. Will Byers will give up that second spot and come down pit road. And here comes the 36 as well, and Owen Christensen's coming down pit road here as well. Kyle Davidson making his way back through turns 3 and 4 after coming down pit road. That will set him down into that 7th spot. And right now your race leader is Scott Milner in that number 6 Cheetos Chevrolet. But he has company just about half a second behind him of Will Byers in that number 53 Spotify Ford. You see these drivers now running through turns 1 and 2, heading down the back straightaway. They are getting ready to pass the number 89 of Joe Usnukas, as they are now going to get ready to battle it out here for the race lead. Here comes Will Byers on the outside of Scott Milner, and he just drives right around him like Milner is sitting still. But how will this lap car interfere? Byers able to completely clear him before getting to the 89, so that works out in his favor. But in that will put Will Byers back up front in that number 53 Spotify Ford. Scott Milner loose coming out of turn number 2. He had to back it down, and that will allow Will Byers in that number 53 machine to continue to pull away. And Dustin Harding slowly gaining on the number 6 of Scott Milner. He sits just about 2.3 seconds back behind. And that right there will give you a general idea of just about how far the separation is between the two. And let's see if this driver can attempt to pull any closer to that machine. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So far, I hope everybody is enjoying the race so far here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Currently out front is Will Byers in that number 53 Spotify Ford. And he's going to be being chased down by Scott Milner in that number 6 Cheetos sponsored Chevrolet. A little bit further back, you're going to find Dustin Harding in that number 81 Mountain Dew sponsored Chevrolet. Owen Christensen still right behind him in that number 65 Menards Chevy. Trevor Kelly in that number 36 Budweiser Chevrolet. He is doing a decent job here today. Kason Hutzo in that JBL number 31 Toyota. He's doing really good in that number 6 position as the only Toyota of the field. And then we have Kyle Davidson in that Monster Energy number 7 Chevrolet. Richard Walls, he is going to be in that number 92 Ford. I'm not sure, really good look on who his sponsor is. So we're going to go ahead and try to take a little bit of a closer look here as he comes down the back straightaway. It's Aaron's number 92 machine. Joe Usnukas, he is coming back down in that number 89 machine. Joe having a lot of issues today. Very unsure of what's going on with him, but he's having a rough time here in Las Vegas. And then we have Freddie Donaway in that Freightliner number 27 machine. And then Matthew Powers, who had some mechanical issues trying to get his machine fired for the race, for the start of the race, unable to get it fired, so he had to go ahead and pack it up early today. And that was your quick rundown through the field. Laps winding down here in the high stakes 125, and Will Byers still out front by 5.3 seconds, and that gap just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Scott Milner, he has come back down pit road to get service on his number 6 machine. This might be his scheduled pit stop, as we have just under 50-ish laps to go. And let's take a look here at Owen Christensen in that number 65 Menards machine for that second in that second spot, but he's got company in Trevor Kelly in that number 36 machine right behind him. Trevor Kelly, he is slowly but surely bringing him in. He's just about a half second now behind him. 67 laps remaining in this event. I would anticipate these drivers having to make at least one more pit stop to get fresh tires on these machines. Kason Hutto in that number 31 machine, he's making his way down pit road to get fresh tires on his machine. Oh no, Christensen hard into the wall out of turn number 2, and that allows Trevor Kelly to go from 0.6 all the way down to 0.4 seconds behind, as we have a slow car coming down pit road now. It looks like that would have been the number 92 of Richard Walsh coming down pit road. This battle here for the second spot is starting to heat up. How long will these drivers go before they make their second pit stop here today? I'm sorry, their third pit stop for the day. A lot of the drivers on that very first caution did come down to get fresh tires, and so a lot of these drivers will be coming down to get their third set of tires. And we have Trevor Kelly right on the back bumper of Owen Christensen. Owen Christensen riding that middle lane, getting a tad bit sideways still. And he is a man on a mission. Owen, you are not in a dirt car, my friend. You are slipping and sliding through these corners. But he is doing whatever he has to do in order to keep the number 36 of Trevor Kelly behind him. Really big bobble there for Owen Christensen. That opens up the door for Trevor Kelly to go around him for that second spot. And Trevor Kelly, he will now pull away. And Dustin Harding now has Owen Christensen in his sights. This last lap, the number 36 of Trevor Kelly was the fastest driver on track. But not by that much. But that means he is slowly and surely reeling in Trevor Kelly, or I'm sorry, Will Byers, for that top spot. Trevor Kelly in that number 36 Budweiser Chevrolet is trying to hold off the 31 here. I'm sorry, yeah, the 31 is trying to make any... He's trying to get past the lap car of the 31. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to pass the 31, but he's trying not to let the 65 get around him. Looks like Richard Walls, he has had to make a couple extra pit stops there himself, and that will move him down to the 10th spot. Laps winding down, ladies and gentlemen, for your race leader, Will Byers. But we are going to stay glued to this battle right here with Trevor Kelly and Owen Christensen, as this is the battle for second that is starting to heat up. Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine. He is now down on pit road. That means 4 drivers still remaining here that need to make their way onto pit road, and it looks like the number 27 of Freddie Donaway, he is slow back down on the inside, and it looks like he's going to get ready to pull his car back down to, down pit lane. The separation between first and second is just about the entire length of the back straightaway. As you see, Owen still having issues. And right on the back bumper. Of the number 65. I look away for 1 second and look back, and Owen Christensen was able to get around Trevor Kelly. And then out in front of these guys, you do have Kason Hutto in that number 30, 31 machine as they work around the 27 of Freddie Donaway. And they are going to look, possibly now look onto the inside of Kason Hutto as they enter turn number 1. Hutto, he will climb up, given the lead lap car is plenty of room, as the 65 is going to run side by side with him out of turn number 2. That's going to close up some of his momentum, and here comes Christensen, or he's trying to gain some ground on Christensen here out of turn number 4. I need to start getting my eyes checked on where we are on track here, ladies and gentlemen. Will Byers, your race leader, he is now down on pit road, and that will turn over the race lead to Trevor Kelly and Owen Christensen as they run side by side out of turn number 2. Will Byers now getting ready to come out of the pits, and Owen Christensen, he'll come on down pit road now, and that will now leave Trevor Kelly, the only car that has not made a pit stop just yet. Oh, and the 7 of Kyle Davidson, he hasn't made his 3rd pit stop yet. And it looks like Trevor Kelly might be coming down this time as he gets his machine woed down. And that will possibly turn the lead over here to the 7 of Kyle Davidson in that Monster Energy Chevrolet. Nope, he will turn it sideways hard into the wall and spin it out here on the front straightaway. And he will get it looped back around, and the caution will not come out. No harm, no foul for the rest of the field, but heavy contact there for Kyle Davidson, and that will, he just lost probably about a good 10 to 15 seconds there with that spin. And Will Byers, he will take over that race lead once again over Scott Milner in that number 6 Cheetos machine. But there is just about a 3.3 second gap between the 2 race leaders. Just now under 48 laps to go. Will Byers giving it all he's got. The question will be, does anybody have anything for that number 53 machine? As Will Byers is working his way around that number 92 of Richard Walls. Richard Walls having a lot of issues, and he ended up having to make an extra pit stop for possibly speeding on pit road, but I'm not 100% sure if that is what happened. Scott Milner getting caught up behind Joe Usnikis and having trouble getting around him, and that is slowly allowing Trevor Kelly to, in that number 36 machine, to start pulling up to his back bumper. A big gaggle of cars right here for second, third, fourth. Trevor Kelly's gotten around that number 36 machine, and Owen Christensen as well got around, and that will change up your top three, dropping Scott Milner back to that fourth spot, and Trevor Kelly in that Budweiser number 36 machine is now up in second. Trevor Kelly, Trevor Kelly, Owen Christensen, they've been battling it out for that second spot, and Scott Milner is doing everything he can to keep these two drivers directly in front of him, but they are now starting to pull away as he now falls just to about a little bit more than a second back behind these two drivers. Christensen, he has now worked his way around Kyle Davidson in that number 7 machine. So now he can refocus on Trevor Kelly. You are currently watching Trevor Kelly in that number 36 machine,
31 pitting this time.
keeping Owen Christensen behind him for that third spot. Will Byers, he has pretty much made his name here in Las Vegas, and he's pulled himself out to a 9-second lead over these uh, over the rest of the field. So now the question is going to be is how long will Bauer ba- will Byers wait to come down pit road, or will Trevor Kelly and or Owen Christensen attempt to make it the remaining 37 laps? These drivers do run on, I believe it was 60% fuel. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they try to stretch it. Nice and easy does it for these drivers as they come now once again through turns 1 and 2 back to the backstretch. They have slowly pulled in to the race leader here just a little bit, and just through that corner there, going through 3 and 4, they did gain about 2/10 of a second on the race leader. So I'm wondering if the race leader, he is just now taking it easy, as these two drivers are still continuing to pull themselves closer and closer to your race leader. It is now sitting at just roughly a 8.88 gap between the two. Four cars now remain on the lead lap, ladies and gentlemen. And your race leader is getting ready to pass Scott Milner once again to put him another lap down, as Trevor Kelly, he is slow down the back straightaway. It looks like he will bring his number 36 machine down onto pit road. He's got to woe it down a lot more, and it looks like he will make it barely, but he made it and woed him down. Let's come back out here, catch up with your race leader of Will Byers and that number 53 Spotify Ford. He got just a little bit sideways there as he came out. And these cars are driving the Ford Mustangs. And the Chevrolets are your Chevy SS vehicles. And I believe the Toyota of Kaisen Hutto is the Toyota Camry, if I'm not mistaken. $30 laps to go now for your race leader of Will Byers. He is now just about 8.6 seconds, and now he is gaining away from Christensen. He gained almost just a half a second there in the last 10 seconds. So he's doing something right, sitting at just above 9 seconds. And Christensen is still dropping. It looks like he possibly may be coming down pit road here shortly. Will Byers, he is now just riding along. His fastest lap was a 29.3. His last lap was a 30.2. So he's just pretty much just chilling here, up here out front. Not trying to push the car to make it go any faster. He's just chilling like a villain, as Dustin Harding, it looks like he is dropping a little bit more there. We are waiting to continue to see if the top three drivers, uh, when will they make their last pit stop? That is going to be the ultimate question. Up against the wall for Will Byers in that number 53 machine. Will Byers continuing to dominate out front here. So Will Byers, he is looking to go back to back here with um, Trevor Kelly, number 36. He finished second last week. And Kyle Davidson, who's currently in fourth. So Owen Christensen, who was unable to make the Daytona race uh, due to a previous commitment, he's looking very strong up there in that second spot currently. Still hanging out just about 9 seconds back behind. Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine, he will give up that third spot and come down pit road. And he will come down with 23 laps to go for him. Christensen, he is making his way down to pit road now as well. And that will leave your race leader here once again, the only car not to make a pit stop just yet, as he circles around turn 3 and 4. He's still going to go ahead and stay out this time. And this here will put everybody at least one lap down. As Christensen, he will now leave the pits. And that will put Kyle Davidson back up into that second spot. Freddie Donaway in that number 27 machine. You see him coming out of the pits here once again. Freddie Donaway sitting back in that 8th spot. He's had a pretty rough race so far, unable to make things happen. Joe Usnickus, he's been trying to chill out back there in the 7th spot. Dustin Harding, again, very strong early on in this event. He's back there in that number 6 spot. Scott Milner, your pole sitter, out there as well. I'm sorry, Dustin Harding was your pole sitter. Scott Milner, he's pretty decent up there in that 5th spot. And here comes your race leader of Will Byers. And now the question is, will these drivers be able to get their laps back? And, you know, at what point, you know, you never know. Kyle Davidson, your second place currently. He is just now heading over into turn number 3 as we continue to watch Will Byers get service on his Ford up on the jack. And here comes your second place of Kyle Davidson. He is going to overtake the race lead here momentarily. But it's been just about 30 laps since he's last made his pit stop. And once Davidson does come down pit road, that will turn over your race lead back over to Will. But look who is right behind them. It's Trevor Kelly in that number 36 Budweiser machine. When they came down for their pit cycle, he was 9 seconds. So his fresh tires proved to be worthy. However, now the guy who has those fresh tires is going to be Will Byers in that number 53 machine. So now that just begs, for the question, how much of those tires did Trevor Kelly save for the remaining 16 laps of this race? But we are about to see on that. Let's come back up here and catch with Kyle Davidson in that number 7 Monster Energy Chevrolet. He will now slow it down out of turn number 4 to bring it down pit road. And that will put Will Byers back out front in that number 53 machine. And he is slowly starting to pull away from Trevor Kelly in that number 36 machine with 15 laps to go. That is your gap right there, ladies and gentlemen, between first and second. And Will Byers is continuing to put time up against Trevor Kelly. He is now 2.2 seconds back and growing as they come across the start-finish line here. They are up to 2.3, 2.4, now 2.5. That is how quick that your race leader, Will Byers, is pulling away from Trevor Kelly. He is already up to 2.7 now. 2.8. Will Byers just able to hold so much more momentum going through these corners. 3 seconds now separate first and second, and it is still growing, ladies and gentlemen. It is now up to 3.3 seconds. Coming out of turn number 2, we're up to 3.4. What an incredible run here for Will Byers. So dominant out of the corners. So dominant through the corners. And he's continuing just to pull away from second place of Trevor Kelly. And then between those two drivers, you have about 5-second gap between Trevor Kelly and Owen Christensen in the number 65 machine. Eleven laps to go this time by. Ten laps to go for your race leader, Will Byers, in that Spotify Ford. And he is continuing to put a gap between himself and second place of Trevor Kelly. The gap is now 5.2 seconds between the two. And only 5 cars now currently remain on the lead lap. multiple cars. Looks like multiple cars here are having a lot of issues. Um, Freddie Donaway had issues. Kason Hutto had issues. Donaway, yep. So Donaway, Hutto, Richard Walls had some issues here as well. Uh, Joe, you snuck us. You know, your league owner. You know, I thought he was having a lot of issues, but he's only made his way one lap down. Kyle Davidson, he's only one lap down now. And Richard Walls, um, he had a really good strong run going until a little bit after that first, or that first or second caution. Or that first caution? Yeah, I think we've only had one caution. Uh, but he had a little bit of issues there after that first caution, and he's dropped himself all the way back to that 8th spot, 5 laps down. So that's very unfortunate there for Richard Walls. The gap now between Will Byers and Trevor Kelly is now just about 8 seconds, but Trevor Kelly now has company with Owen Christensen in that number 36 machine. I'm sorry, that number 65 machine. He has company. As they come out of turn 2, Owen Christensen has so much speed under that hood, but their difference is a 10 lap tire difference, and that just shows how much tires are important here. And Trevor Kelly gave up all those spots by pitting 10 laps or more earlier than your first and second place now of Will Byers and Owen Christensen, as we are marching around and have 4 laps to go this time by for Will Byers, as he now works his way through turns 1 and 2. Richard Walls once again back down here on pit road. Joe Usnukis, he's came his way back down on pit road here once again. But they have both since left, as your race leader is coming up here on Joe. Our flagman Barney shows the popsicle sticks for Will Byers, indicating 2 laps to go this time by. As you see your race leader Will Byers now working his way around the inside of Joe as they come out of turn number 2. And next up on the hit list is going to be Richard Walls in that number 92 machine. But that might not matter, ladies and gentlemen. The white flag is out for your race leader of Will Byers in that number 53 Spotify Ford. One more lap around for the high stakes 125 right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Will Byers started back in that 4th spot, has dominated since the green flag, brought his car to the front, had the right calls on pit road. And ladies and gentlemen, out of turn number 4, Will Byers, for the 2nd race in a row, he will take the checkered flag right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the next level. Yep, gaming community ARCA series. What an incredible run, as you see the 89 go for a wild spin on the back straightaway. That was crazy right there for sure, ladies and gentlemen. as you get the 3 wide salute right here on the front straightaway. 4 wide salute, and he is going to slow it down here, ladies and gentlemen, and burn it down just for you. Will Byers in that number 53 machine. What an incredible run. Let's go ahead and take a moment. And let's go see if we can get a word with Will Byers. There we go. Mr. Will Byers, this is Mike Taylor rep in the booth. Do you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Mr. Byers, second week in a row. You put on a dominating force this week. Last week, or last race, we were at Daytona. I'm sorry about that. Last week in Daytona, uh, it was all about drafting, but today, man, you pulled out to just about a 10-second gap. That final pit stop. How'd your race go? And how
Oh,
fast were you?
yeah, it was really good. I think going into practice, we all kind of realized that around 15 laps on the run, the rears were going to start going. And just kind of throughout that run, just listening to everyone in the chat, I think a lot of people were complaining about the car being loose and tight and having to lift. I, for some reason, didn't have that problem. So throughout the entire run, I was basically full throttle. I didn't lift at all. So I think that's just kind of where the speed on the long run came from.
Yeah, that was an incredible run for sure, Will. Uh, Next week, we're going to head over to the paperclip of Martinsville. Obviously, you're very fast here on these massive 1.5 mile tracks. How good are you over at the short track of Martinsville?
Not bad. I've done a couple races at Martinsville. I think, especially in these cars, there'll be a lot of bumps and contacts. I think it'll come down to just who can keep their car clean, not use any fast repairs, and just be consistent.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we wish you a bunch of luck next week at Martinsville. Congratulations on your second win in a row. And like I said, we'll see you next week.
Thank you. See ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can get a word with Owen Christensen. Owen Christensen, are you down here?
I am here.
There you is. How are
Well,
you? I'm going to go ahead and pull you up into the booth.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, Mr. Christensen. You had such a wonderful race today. Very strong performance. Uh, I know on that last pit stop, Trevor Kelly, he was out to probably about a good 10 seconds ahead of you. Did you think you were be able to catch him in the closing laps?
Definitely earlier on in the stints, I noticed how powerful the tire wear was on this track. Definitely towards the end of the run, and I think that was pretty much the biggest factor. He had maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 lap older tires than I did, so I was really trying to close that gap and was able to at the end. There was definitely a undercut factor here if you were able to hold on to it towards the end of the run, but also a good overcut if you were able to work with it.
Absolutely. You were putting down some really quick laps. Uh, and obviously, you were able to pull yourself all the way up to second here today. We are heading over to Martinsville next week for the paperclip. What's your thoughts heading into Martinsville next week?
I definitely enjoy these longer tracks a little bit more. Have struggled a little bit in the past on some of the shorter ones, but I think the biggest factor for me is just going to be keeping it clean. Try to get some good practice in, keep those lap times up while keeping it out of the wall.
Yeah, definitely. Martinsville is definitely one of those tough tracks. Um, would you like to thank anybody before I send you back down?
Just like to say a huge thank you to the folks at Menards and Tide for giving me such a good car today. Really felt strong with the pace was there, and especially in that first stint, and then throughout the rest of the race. So yeah, just thanks a bunch to them.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Owen, for your time. Congratulations on your P2. Good luck next week at Martinsville.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was Owen Christensen. Now let's see if we can get talk to Trevor Kelly. Trevor Kelly,
Yeah.
are you down here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh, speak one more time. You're salty.
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect.
It's yeah, salty.
Alrighty, let me go ahead and pull you up to the booth real quick.
I'm gonna put my last name in my server.
Alrighty, Trevor Kelly, congratulations on your third position here today. You got yourself another podium, 2 races in a row. What were your thoughts today about today's race? And just did just the timing of pitting just screw everything up to fall you back to third, or what happened out there?
I mean, I thought the racing was great. Having us 10 out there tonight. I know I got swept, or I got spun in early in the race on lap 6 or whatever, 5 I think. Crab walked that all the way around the track. That last pit stop was cause I got loose in the middle of 1 and 2. I went up and slammed the wall. I got some pretty bad damage, so I just kind of said, I might as well just pit, try to get that damage fixed, and what ground I can make up.
I gotcha. Unfortunately, I don't think we caught that issue on that final pit stop. But I mean, all around, top 3 once again. Very strong run from you. Another good points day for you. What's your thoughts about heading to Martinsville next week?
A little nervous. I've never ran the track. I actually have to buy it to be able to run next week. We'll definitely be taking my time to learn it and figure out the breaking points and whatnot. It'll be interesting.
Awesome. And before I let you go, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
My team captain not being here.
What a bum.
He's busy. He's busy moving, so he's kind of stuck doing that for a while, and I don't know how many more races he'll be missing. Hopefully, he can come back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely have a safe move for him, and hope to see him out on track. Trevor, again, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again on your top 3, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was your top 3 right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's go ahead and do one more look at your finishing order. Let's take a look at the finishing order. Will Byers in that number 53 again. He was your race winner for 2nd race in a row. 3rd place is going, or 2nd place is going to be Owen Christensen in that 65. Trevor Kelly in the number 36 machine. Dustin Harding in the 81. Scott Milner, he will bring it home in that 5th spot. Give me just one moment here. Having a small glitch. There we go. All right, so Scott Milner is going to be in your 5th spot in that number 6 machine. Kyle Davidson in this number 7 will be in 6th. Joe Usnukas in the number 89 machine. Kason Hutto in the number 31 will bring it home in 8th. Richard Walls in the number 92 machine brought it home 9th. Freddie Donaway in the number 27 machine will bring it home 10th. And rounding out your field is Matthew Powers in the number 9. Had some issue with his power supply getting it up and running on down on the track, and so he had to get it pushed back to the garage, unable to start this event. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. We want to send out a big special thanks to SDK Gaming, again, for giving us this awesome, amazing overlays, the awesome, everything about our overlay system is amazing by SDK. So again, I want to send out a big, big, big thank you to them. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, our next live event will be next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern with the iRacing Sim NASCAR Fever Series coming live to you from Thunder Valley, right here on the iCast Racing Network next Saturday. It is going to be a dogfight for the Smoky Mountains 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway. And next week, for the Next Level Gaming Community ARCA Series, we will be going live just about 7:30, 7:45 for the Paperclip Showdown 150 at Martinsville. We will see you guys next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful weekend.
This has been a production of the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.